Atari Arcade 2 for Evercade brings together 10 classic early 80s arcade games published by Atari. The collection includes games originally released by Atari back in the day, as well as a selection of titles which joined the Atari family in more recent years, including some that have never seen an official home release, and others that were rare to see even in an 80s arcade. Today, we're going to take a closer look at 3 of our favourite games from this collection. First released in 1980, Berserk was the creation of Alan McNeil, an engineer who got his start in the business by repairing technical issues on early arcade boards. In Berserk, you take control of a humanoid intruder on a planet infested by killer robots. Your task is simple: survive as long as possible in an endless maze, and the more robots you can take down along the way, the better. Berserk quickly became known and beloved for 2 main reasons. Firstly, its relentless invincible antagonist known as Evil Otto, who gives chase if you take too long escaping from an individual screen, and secondly, its pioneering use of speech synthesis. The game is capable of speaking a surprising range of phrases, ranging from mocking the player for fleeing a screen before destroying all its robots, to encouraging passing arcade goers to engage with the machine by pretending that it could detect people's pocket change. Berserk is an all-time classic, and was highly influential on all top-down action games which followed. With Atari Arcade 2 for Evercade, you can enjoy it as much as you like, at home or on the go. Released in 1982, Rescue was developed by Chris Oberth, and is regarded as a rather rare machine today, since it was not commonly seen in the arcades of the early 80s. Rescue is noteworthy for being an early example of a game featuring parallax scrolling. This is a graphics technique where the game background is split into layers that scroll at different speeds to create an illusion of depth. Irem's Moon Patrol, which you can play on Evercade as part of Irem Arcade 1, is often credited as the first game to make use of parallax scrolling, but Rescue, being developed around the same time, was also an early game to show off this visually striking technique. Rescue's gameplay is based around twin-stick style shooting, allowing you to move and fire in different directions. There's an added wrinkle in the mix though. As the name suggests, it's not just about blasting everything in sight. Instead, your main objective is rescuing stranded paratroopers and bringing them to safety. And you'll have to do this while under heavy fire and avoiding the flaming wreckage of any enemies you've shot down. Not a job for the faint-hearted. Don't worry though, because you can practice as much as you like with no pocket change required. Just pop Atari Arcade 2 in your Evercade and play to your heart's content. Maze Invaders is a particularly interesting curiosity, as it was never released into 80s arcades, and in fact it was almost completely forgotten about until 2014, when a collector named Scott Evans donated a huge archive of Atari corporate material to the International Centre for the History of Electronic Games, part of the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, USA. The archived materials included developer Ed Logg's original complete code for Maze Invaders, giving this previously unreleased game a second chance to shine. In Maze Invaders, your task is to gather all the fruit in each maze, then proceed to another room. Each room has its own gimmicks to contend with, and there's a substantial bonus awaiting you in a specific room. You'll need to figure out how the rooms connect to one another in order to make your way to that bonus, as the room numbers aren't necessarily arranged how you might expect. Maze Invaders combines elements of maze action and arena shooter games, and features some innovative mechanics such as the ability to retreat while shooting. While it's a shame arcade goers of the early 80s weren't able to play this game as it was originally intended, its inclusion in Atari Arcade 2 for Evercade means it can get the recognition and love it deserves. And that's not all you get in Atari Arcade 2 for Evercade. You'll return to Evil Otto's lair and take on the robots once again in Frenzy. Blast baddies before the walls close in on you in Tasmania. Hunt for treasure while fending off relentless enemies and traps in Lost Tomb. Defend your lunar bases from enemy attack in Moon War. Launch an attack on an alien base in the innovative dual-layer shoot-'em-up Dark Planet. Travel across the endless sands to destroy the enemy base in Minefield. And put your foot to the floor as you brave the winding city streets in Fire Truck. Atari Arcade 2 is available for Evercade from April 2025.